Jessie, you know football at a really high level. What gets you excited about Jeff Ulbricht's defense?
Yeah, I love the fact that he's been in our chairs before. Anytime you get a new coach, sometimes some coaches like to emphasize some things, overcoach some things, and say it's all about the X's and O's. But when you have a coach that's been there before, that's been in those seats, that's been in installs before, it's a little bit easier to apply what he's talking about in the meetings and stuff like that. So it's been great. Jeff's super demanding. He has that linebacker personality. So it's been good. It's been good to work with him, and I'm excited for what's to come.
He said sometimes this time of year can be tedious for veterans because you kind of hear the same basic philosophies over for the 7th, 8th time. But why is that important to hear those basic foundational principles this time of year?
Yeah, because we get this 10-week off-season period together where you want to kind of knock out all the your base fundamentals, your philosophies, everything, your culture. That's what this is about, gaining that trust and understanding what do we want to be for the next year, for this year coming up. So when we get to training camp, we can hit the ground running. So like I said, Jeff, and the whole coaching staff has done a really good job of just getting us in here, being demanding on what we want to be. And then today was our first day out here on the field, being able to apply it and be able to talk about it and watch film together. So we're excited for where this thing's going. And this is just the first day of OTAs, but I feel like we were on top of motions and all that good stuff today. So I think we're on a good direction for sure.
Xavier Watts said that you're his role model, the guy that he kind of models his game after. How does that make you feel? And second of all, is it easier to work with somebody like that admires you and has always admired you?
Yeah, it makes you feel a little bit old, I think. You talk about, I remember when I was that guy, coming in and trying to compare myself to Justin Simmons and stuff like that, and now I'm the guy he wants to be compared to. But he's, went to Notre Dame, smart guy, ball skills is off the charts, and it'll be good to have a guy like that plays above the head, has a good feel for just football itself. He's a hell of a football player, and it's going to be nice to be able to be that leader for him, because I know what that was like as a safety walking in. And let's face it, we got some young guys that are going to have to make some impactful plays for us this year, and Xavier's a part of that. So excited to work with him.
How often have you guys talked already?
Yeah, me and X, we talk all the time. We kind of start our day in the steam room a little bit, and now that we're able to have some film that we'll be able to watch together and be able to pick each other's brains. So like I said, it's a good feeling. You're a vet, but I keep around those guys, keep me young as well. So,
Jessie, you talk about these young guys on defense. How exciting is that to just be to have that many guys that are trying to prove themselves?
Yeah, there was no surprise. We went defense in the draft, and like I said, those guys will be making some impactful plays and having some impactful snaps this year. So just getting those guys in here and making them feel comfortable, in the scheme, and just let them know that you're in your dream. You just started your dream, but there's a whole lot more that you can do in this league. By you didn't just get here just to get drafted and play 1 year in this league. You want to have a long career, and just teaching those guys the daily habits. Not just talking about it, but being an example for these guys every single day. And you just do little stuff every single day, and that type of stuff that adds up, and next thing you know, you'll be on year 8 like me, and good things that happen for you and your family. So just talking to those guys about that.
Being a vet, do you still get excited coming to OTAs?
Oh man, yeah, I still feel like I'm 21 years old and fresh, and having a new staff, I think that's another thing where you get excited to walk in. And Brick and those guys were at New York, and they were successful as heck. Top 5 defense, back-to-back years, and I always get excited when you got to go and prove to your coaches like you're that guy. You can trust me, and I want to be that guy for them. So it's a nice restart. Every single year, I always say this. Nobody cares what you did last year. All that matters is what you're doing right now, and that's my mindset, and that should be everybody's.
Jesse, how do you feel this defense has improved over this offseason?
Yeah, when you got a leader like Jeff, he's super demanding. There's no gray area. He's I just said this earlier. He has that linebacker mentality. When he's talking about installs, he's direct. He's not just saying it for no reason. But I think the way that we're installing and teaching, our techniques, it'll pay off in the long run for sure.
Do you still get excited coming to OTAs? Start of it?
Definitely. I think you should, man. It's a kid's game. It's so fun to play this. Craig Robertson always used to tell me that, one of my vets when I got in the league, is it's a kid's game. Never lose that. It's fun. It's a joy to be out here. When I was a kid, I'd drop plays for me and my 3 brothers that were old enough to go play 2-on-2 all day, right? Not basketball, football. So if I can't get pretty excited to go play 11-on-11 and get some of the best in the world, something's wrong.
What's important to get out of this time period? Because it's still kind of too early before training camp, but also, you look back at last year and there's obviously areas you guys want to grow.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is the connection. So kind of the first time with this team being around each other. That's the first thing. Second is, there's a lot of areas for self-improvement. This is really a time that you can focus on that, focus on your own game, what you have to improve on for next year. And I think if everybody does that, then collectively all of a sudden you look a lot better too. That's why the last thing is, as a collective group, you get to know one another. It's awesome, but how are you going to play for one another, and what type of habits are you going to build? And it's important to set that now.
You said connection. How have you seen Mike kind of grow as a leader? As this isn't really be his full season.
Yeah, last year he was already so confident. And last year he already had that swagger about him. I was really excited. I've said this before. I was really excited to have a rookie quarterback in camp, especially because we go 1s versus 2s. Because in my mind, that meant a lot of interceptions for me during training camp, and I didn't have one on him last year. And so from the beginning, he's been mature beyond his years, and it's just only compounded this year. He's got that silent swagger to him. He's always going to be ready, and he throws a piss missile, so we're good to go.
How different is that, silent leadership you speak of for a quarterback? Because even Raheem referenced he has a different leadership-esque than most quarterbacks do.
I've been around a lot of great leaders. Normally the quarterbacks are extremely vocal, and he's been vocal before, so I'm not saying he doesn't have that in him. But at the end of the day, just when he has that demeanor about him, it's just a swagger that he brings to the team. Do-rag Mike's ready to roll, and so we're all ready to roll.
I know it's still early, but what are your impressions on Jalen?
Man, he's explosive. That's one of I haven't been an individual with him, sadly. I'm inside. He's been with the outside guys, but every time Coach pulls up one of his clips from individual, it's like, dang, he's explosive. And then today I saw it a few times in our team reps. I know it wasn't full pass rush, you're not allowed to fully go, but darn it, that man's his get off is nice. So I'm excited about him.
You're at an age where a lot of guys are what they are and are just trying to maintain that, but you feel like you're still evolving the way that you play. Is that accurate?
100%, yes, I do.
Why is that, and I guess why is that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost it goes back to the why. Why do you play the game? Why do you do what you do? Why do you live life? And for me, first off, it's for Jesus, and he tells me to do everything as though I'm working for the Lord and not for man. So although man may be satisfied, I don't believe he is, and I know he's got more plans for me, not just in football, but in life. And so I think that permeates in every part of my life, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. You can find a lot of flaws in that argument for my lifestyle, but at the same time, I'm striving for that every single day. And then I've had some really good examples. My dad as a man from when I was young to where he is now has grown tremendously in front of my eyes, and I want to emulate that in every area of my life. Another guy's Demario Davis. He always talked about his bag. He always talked about adding to his bag every offseason. You see it in basketball all the time, right? These guys continue to add different aspects to the game. There's no reason a football player can't do that. Demario showed me that. I kind of caught on, mid to late of his career. I think year 6 was his year 6 was my first year with him, and hearing the player he was to the player he had become, and then continuing to watch the player he has continued to grow to be. It's something that I've got a very close behind the seat. Got to just kind of watch it. And now it's something that I'm also trying to emulate that as well, just continue to add to my bag.
What did you add last year? What do you think? Or what's your most recent addition, and then what's the next?
For me, it's really been honing in on the techniques and the skills I use. I love last year, and we'll see how Brick wants to use me this year, but last year I got to be used in a lot of different ways. The awesome part about that is I could do a lot of fun things in the football field. The negatives, I might be using the most techniques out of everybody else on the field in one game. And so, these other guys are getting to work the same thing on repetition. I'm pass rushing, I'm man covering, I'm zone covering, I'm playing the run. There's different things that I got to do. So for me, this offseason was, all right, I know what I do well, I know how I do it, I know how I'm going to be used, at least to some regard. How do I sharpen it so that I'm just as good as someone that just does one job? You know what I'm saying? Right. So for me, that was really, I didn't try to get much faster, I didn't try to get much stronger, try to maintain everything in that regard. But, mentally, I continue to grow, but really technique. How do you become sharper and not just a jack of all trades, but a master of all of them?
Do you still consider yourself an edge rusher at heart? I mean, is that still your
I'll always consider myself at heart, always.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you still keep up with Demario?
We'll touch base every now and then, especially after games. We'll send a text here and there. He's obviously a very busy man. He's got a lot of really cool things going on in life, not only on the field but off. So, but yes, I consider him a very good friend.
And you're an established player. I don't think anybody would say differ that. Like, why was it important for you to be here? Considering it'd be okay for you not.
They asked earlier what the, why this part of the season's important, off season, and it's about connection. If some guys aren't here, then the first time you're going to be together is training camp. And when you've got a bunch of new faces, draftees, free agents, it's not a very good thing for you guys to blood, sweat, and cry together on the field. So try to be here, build that connection so that we can really lay it on the line for one another.
What can you say about Ulbrich and how he coaches?
He's so detailed. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing. He's extremely detailed. He loves what he does. He's passionate about it. He's fun. He's played. It's my first time having that I can recall off the top of my head where my DC's been a linebacker at heart. A guy that played it and saw it from my shoes. So I'm really excited about it. He's so detailed. He's an awesome coach, and I love him so far.
I'm glad you said that because JB said that like 4 or 5 times. Oh, he's a linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker.
He looks like a linebacker.
Yeah, he's had the DBs and he's had plenty of safeties. All right. No. We got a linebacker now, so he's gonna look out for us a little bit.
So what does that look like? Like, what's that mentality, right? Like, obviously he knows the position, but what is he, personality-wise, coaching style-wise? How is he coached like a linebacker?
Well, linebackers are the most detailed by far, and we're probably the smartest too. So that's why he's detailed. That's why the first thing I said. And secondly, at the end of the day, when you're game planning a team, sometimes the onus has to get put on a position group. And I think in my, very biased eyes, that when defensive coordinators are D-line, DBs, they kind of gear things, put the tough jobs in the linebackers a little bit. I can already tell Brick's going to look out for us and make sure that I don't have Justin Jefferson alone. You know what I mean? Those types of scenarios. So shout out to Ulbrich.
Another thing that Jessie said that stood out, he said, hey, looking at this group, we're going to have young guys step up and play meaningful roles.
Yep.
Do you see that as well? And what does that take out of guys like you, guys like Jessie, to be leaders and to get those guys ready for what will be expected of them?
I do see it. You look at the roster, you look at these guys that they brought in, some draft picks that obviously 2 first-rounders on defense, and then some other guys that I think they were happy were there when they were available. So at the end of the day, we got some holes in the defense that we need guys to step up. And we've got guys that have been here, that have been working, and I trust those guys 100%. And I see the work that different guys have put in to ascend. And I also see the guys they brought in, and I see why they were drafted when they were drafted, why they were brought in as free agents, and they're talented. And so we're going to need some other guys to step up. What Jessie said is true, and I'm excited to see it play out.
What are some key traits you see from young guys that are successful in this league?
One more time, I'm sorry.
What are some key traits you see from young guys, rookies that are able to perform well?
First off, you gotta have your head on your shoulders. You have to be able to understand the NFL game fast enough to be able to go out and react and play free. Because everybody that's drafted or picked up as an undrafted free agent has the talent and athleticism to play in the NFL. I'm gonna say it right now. May not mean you're gonna be the best, but you have the talent and athleticism to play in the NFL, special teams, and maybe some rotation, and possibly starter, all-pro, whatever level of the spectrum you're on. But who can process the game fast enough to allow those talents to show? I think J.D. Bertrand is a really good example. He was a 5th-round linebacker last year, and he had to play some really meaningful ball for us. And he had some really good clips, really good games, really good moments. Well, from the very first moment he came in, he didn't seem like a rookie mentally. He was smart. He picked it up quick. He was asking very detailed questions that normally only hear vets ask or nobody in the room ask because they didn't think about it. So you get situations like that. I was with Pete Warner in New Orleans. He was the exact same way, just smart, detailed. So you got different guys that at the end of the day, everybody can play. At the end of the day, everybody has the athleticism, but who has the mentality, who has the mental aspect of the game to let their talent show.
When you're talking about asking questions, How many questions do these young guys ask you nowadays? The rookies coming up.
A lot. Yeah. We got some rookie linebackers with us that we picked up that I'm pretty excited about because, I mean, neither of them are nervous to ask a question. I think that's a really good trait. And then, I'll hopefully get around X, some of the other guys a little bit more and continue to pick their brain and vice versa.
What's it been like working with Divine Diablo?
It's really cool. I obviously got to see what he did in Las Vegas. Some big hits, some awesome coverage skills, some just really good linebacker skill and play in general. And to get to be with him, he's been awesome person off the field, talk to, be around. And then, you can see what makes him tick. I think he had probably the best play today in practice. Really good tip. He came in and knocked the ball out and broke it up for us. And he's got the length, he's got the speed, he's got the athleticism, and he's got the mentality. So I'm excited to play with him.
How do you think you two will complement each other while inside?
That's to be determined. We'll find that out.
All right, so first practice, OTA practice as a Falcon in the books. How'd it go? What was it like out there being with this group of guys?
It went great. I love the guys. This is a collection of guys who ready to win. And coming out this first day, we running to the ball, trying to make plays.
What's it like being part of this group now? Some new guys coming in from the draft, established vets like Kaden and Jessie. Where do you feel like you fit in this group?
I feel like I fit right in. I'm a guy who's been through a lot as far as my career. I got a lot of experience, and I'm just coming in and giving as much knowledge to the guys as I can.
What's it like seeing another Georgia guy going early in the draft and joining up with y'all?
It's great. I can actually tell he was a Georgia guy by the way he practiced today.
Oh, yeah.
Running to the ball, hustling hard, man. It was great to see him doing. I was like, that reminds me of my time when I came out at Georgia. I came out and just went hard day one, and I saw that from him today, from Walker.
What did you think when you were following along with the draft and you see them take two guys in the first round that you're going to be sharing a position room with?
I loved it, man. The more the merrier. I'm a guy I believe in rotation. I believe in coaches sending guys in, fresh legs, and getting out the quarterback.
So do you feel a leadership role now as a guy who's done it at the highest level, been a high draft pick, gone to the highest level in the NFL? Do you feel a leadership role with these young guys?
I do, in a sense, as far as me having a lot of experience in the league. As far as being vocal, I'm more action. I show the guys how to do something before I tell them how to. I'm more of that type of person.
That sounds very similar to what we're used to with Jessie Bates. Who are the guys the voices that you hear in that defensive group? Who's stepping up as those vocal leaders?
Like you say, Jessie Bates. From day one, I knew he was the leader of the defense, one of the leaders. It's a lot of young guys that's opening it up and talking more. I'm trying to get my boy 9'6" to be a beast in the paint with me. So that's the guy I've been keying in on the most, 96, trying to get him to let some of that leadership come out of him.
And how good can this group be with the veterans like yourself that were brought in, with the players that are coming back, and with the rookies? How good can this defense be?
I feel like the only way from here is up. Wasn't ranked really high as far as getting sacks last year, so really the only way is up from this point, starting from here.
How much confidence do you have with those young guys like Jalen Walker? Do they talk to you an awful lot and ask you for advice?
I got extreme confidence in them. It's about them learning how to contain how to contain their emotions. You know how young players are. It's about teaching them how to be more professional with their job and with their craft.
So have you seen them play much during college days? Like Pierce and Walker, did you watch them play much?
I watched Walker. I didn't get a chance to see Tennessee play a lot, but Walker went to Georgia. I see him pretty much every week.
Okay. So how do you see them fitting into what you guys are trying to do here? I mean, the whole scheme of things in the pass rush.
I see them fitting in well. They two great guys, and they very intelligent from coming from college to the league. They got a great sense of ball, and they ask all the right questions to our coach, and I could tell from that point that they make way more mature than I thought.
And you're talking about controlling your emotions. Talk a little bit more about that. What kind of emotions do they have to control? That's two
the emotions that come with, hey, I got blocked this play. You know, confidence, keeping that confidence high. Because, you know, sometimes you will get blocked and your confidence will go. I'm more of a preaching on keeping the confidence. If you get blocked this one play, you come back the next play and win up.
One other thing I want to ask, you know, you've played with Raheem before. What's he like now in the head coaching role, and what's it like being on a Raheem Morris-led team?
He ain't changed at all. Raheem, my boy, man, for real. He's a great coach, and he's a great players coach. He's a great human being, great guy to have in your building, especially as a head coach. Nothing but positive things to say about him.
What was he saying that towards the end? You were at, he looked like a cornerback out there. What happened?
Yeah, it was end of the game trying to protect the sideline. He just messing with me. He always messing with me because he know I'm his guy, and he like to make jokes with me.
Jordan, you've had a little short time here, but what have you learned about the culture here in Atlanta and what you're excited about?
Yeah, I would say everybody's about their business and about enjoying the time during the day at the same time. So yeah, that's the pocket I like to stay in.
What's that relationship like playing next to Jessie? I know you've had your share of success, but talk about being able to play next to a guy like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, me and Jessie had a relationship beforehand too. We've known each other for like 5 or so years now.
Yeah.
We've trained together and stuff like that before. So it's really, really cool being able to link up with him. But just the safety room in general, I feel like really excited to be a part of and play with all those guys, Kev, Benny, Marco, X. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just a bunch of dogs in that room and we're, just ready to compete every day.
There's a lot of depth in that room. What will make you different this training camp?
I would say just hopefully in the way I prepare and just approach the game and approach every single day. I just try to be me out there. So all I can say is like it's gonna be different because I'm just gonna be me out there. That's the only thing.
If people would ask what this defense will look like under Coach Albrecht, what would you say?
You have a bunch of guys that are flying around, trying to get to the ball, trying to be the first to the ball, communicating at a high level, and and just being really, really excited for their teammates' success.
What was it about the Falcons that attracted to them this offseason?
Here there's a bunch of familiarity for me. I think it's going to be a good fresh start, but familiarity with Jessie and Ra and the strength staff with Coach Griff. It just felt like a good place to plant some seeds.
You said fresh start. Do you have any specific goals already set for this year?
I'll keep those for myself.
Okay.
Did Jessie have any conversations with you prior to joining?
I would say yeah, but I would say we check in with each other like every so often. So it wasn't anything out the ordinary or anything, but we definitely talked about, it could be cool to join up ever since. We've known each other.
As the guy who's on the other side of the ball, what have you noticed about Michael Penix that you like or intrigues you?
I would just say he has a real live arm. Just like it's easy to see how talented he is. Especially just playing against him last year, like in Carolina, he makes some throws that not too many people can make. Just really excited to play with him too.
What are your first impressions of Xavier?
Real focused, good dude. He sits next to me in both like the defensive team meeting room and the safeties room. I feel like me and him are similar in a bunch of ways. Kind of like soft-spoken guys, but when it comes to playing football, we get real locked in and we're hard workers and we do what's asked of us. So anything he needs, I got him, and I know it's the same way for him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for your time.